Okay, guys, so we're going to be talking about emails right here, and this is very different than a 2K webinar because we're going to be warming up our IP addresses very differently. Very differently. And also, this email funnel works a lot differently, and it's going to have a different objective. And so I want to state one thing before we get going. The 2K webinar has a really distinct advantage in email. So what happens is when people sign up for a webinar, checking the email is like part of the game. And so your emails have a huge open rate, and it's very easy to get a 70% open rate even on your first email right here. And this warms up your IP address super quickly. Okay, email is part of the game when it comes to webinars. So people are always going to check their starting now emails, and so we're able to wrap that in there. And that when Google sees these huge open rates, it gives your IP address a huge advantage very quickly. So when we're running an SC webinar, opening the emails isn't part of the game. It isn't something that like necessarily is part of the structure. We're sending people straight to a sales video. So what happens is people go from an ad straight to the sales video, and this greatly reduces their chance of opening your email. So you really have to know how you're going to hook people into getting those emails. And so what I do at the beginning of the webinar is you're going to see I offer an insanely valuable bonus. You must have a very valuable bonus. And we tell them this will be delivered to your email when you watch till the end. So people are going to expect this email from us. Now, it's also super important because when we're doing an SC webinar, we don't have numbers on our side like the 2K webinar. The 2K webinar, we're going to get a lot of leads going in there, and a whole secret to a 2K webinar is mass amounts of leads. The secret to an SC webinar is hyper-targeted leads. It's for B2B kind of structures and very targeted customers coming in. So what happens, this isn't true at scale, but at lower scale, we're only going to be working with like 100 leads a day. And so it's so easy to tank your delivery for this webinar. If you don't get your emails delivered, it doesn't work very well, it's so easy to tank it. And because of that, it takes a lot longer time to train your IP address to deliver very well. So because of that, if you go look at my email funnels right here, for let's say the iron funnel, the emails are written with the goal of warming up the new domain that we're using. So I have ironads.com in here. I believe I'm firing from hyros.com actually right here. And so you can see how my emails are set up. Okay, we have a really high open rate for these. We have like 30% open rates on this first email right here. And also the open rates are going to drop a little bit over time. It's very hard to get this thing constantly delivering super well at first. Okay, and so you can see what's actually happening right here is now the second email delivers at 50%. So what we have right here is I have a very specific email funnel where we send an email to people 10 minutes after they opt in with the delivery of the bonus. Then if they open, they go through to the next funnel. If they don't open, we kick them out of here because we need to get this IP delivering. We cannot tank our domain delivery. If you're using ActiveCampaign, you're using whatever you're using, I have this on a dedicated IP on Hyros, and this is how I'm structuring this right now to warm up this IP address before I start doing anything. We don't want to be unleashing the Kraken when it comes to our funnel. We don't want a 15 email funnel because I guarantee it's not going to deliver well over time. So what we have right here, as you can see, I have the most basic of basic emails like we're doing in every webinar. This email right here is super basic. It's an HTML email that we have written down here. And if I go right here and show you it, it's just simply a written out in the most basic of basic email formats. And so this is kind of how we hyper optimize this. But I want to show you how simple this is. All this is an email right here that says, thanks for viewing my 8-figure ad training. Here's the promised training below. And there's literally just a link. That's it. The email is 6 words. Okay? We're getting them straight in. And what we're trying to achieve right here, is very simple. We want to get them to open and click. Because when we start showing Gmail that we're getting opens and clicks, the funnel becomes very lethal very fast. That's why you can see these other emails right here. They go to actual openers, deliver very high. And again, this email right here is super easy as well. I want to read it to you. Hey, it's Becker. I saw you watch my scaling training. You did not, however, book a call. Look, it's borderline easy for me to connect a course coaching program to use to YouTube and scale. If you can go below and see me doing If you go below, you can see me doing it over and over again in just about any niche. Would you like to hop on a call and I will show you how to do this? Alex Becker. All right, and then it's a link to the page right here where we're talking about booking a call and seeing me do it over and over again. So this is just a simple email that comes out saying, hey, would you like to book a call? And so that is about 42% open rates. And so many of my calls come from here. This is what you need to get at baseline working. We need a good open email, first email that gets high open rates and a really good click-through rate. And we exclude the people that didn't open, since opening is not part of the game, because this email will get tanked if you start sending the people that didn't open this email. We use this email almost to get rid of people, and then we hammer them 2 days later with this email. What I'm going to do over time is slowly add other value emails where I send them training and then keep offering them book a call over and over again. But before we start warming this up, this is the first baseline you want to work with. It should be 2 emails. First email is super basic with a button, and then the second email right here goes out and says, hey, okay, if you want to book a call, go here. It's the most basic of basic emails that you could possibly ever send, and that's it. Okay? So this is how these funnels work. Now, with these emails, I want to talk about this. This is a picture of what our email looks like. All right? And so I have just a simple HTML email that has a button at the bottom that says book a call. And I use really enticing emails like call me or pay Facebook an extra $123,000. Okay, this is huge on Hyro. So like, what the heck does this mean? Okay, and I want to show you kind of some of the headlines. Now, these are the first few emails that I send out. Okay, so this is when we were testing it, but the headline principles stay the same. You can see we even reduced it from this. All right, that's how sensitive the Gmail inbox is. But what I'll use right here is when I send out the first email, it's going to have a headline like deliver your script funnel bonus training. Okay, for watching my Google Ads channel, just a simple reminder. And then the second headline you want to use in your emails that go out is you want to use something very inflammatory. This is what we'll use for Hyro as the second email. Call me or pay Facebook an extra $123,000. That gets massive open rates. Same exact thing with the iron funnel. I believe the email headline on this one is going to be something, it's super inflammatory as well. Do you not want to scale your program? I use something very simple like that. Do you not want to scale your program? Like, use a question. If you don't know what to write, use this type of headline. Do you not want to do this anymore? Always gets very high open rates. Okay, and so that's how I would structure these emails. You can see this is actually very simple. Now, finally, what I'm going to suggest you do is watch the EverWebinar email video below, and you want to test your emails on whatever system you're using to make sure they inbox on a fresh Gmail account. I will break down exactly how to do that in the EverWebinar video. But this is how the funnel is going to look inside of your sales call funnel. And this is how you should run it for probably the first month while it trains up the IP address and the domain, and you get good open rates at Gmail or wherever you're inboxing at. You want to see like 50% open rates on the second email right here. You can see 277 sent, 377 open. The click-through rate is pretty good for the amount of people that opened it. And so this is what we want to be working with right here, because a lot of our calls are going to come from the second email. Okay? A lot of our calls are going to come from the second email. All the people that clicked here, these are all calls because it just says book a call on it. Okay, a person's not going to click that if they don't want to book a call. Okay, so absolutely huge with our sales call funnel. And this is how we want to run it. I'll be getting into how this progresses later on, but when you're starting it off, this is where we want to start at. It's where we want to start at. And again, the thing I want to point out is the much lower lead volume we're going to be working with in this funnel. If you look at the EverWebinar, it's like hundreds of thousands of emails. This one right here, it's only 2,000. And you don't need to book a lot of calls. Okay? You don't need tons of leads to crush with this. This is why it works really well, and we're kind of sniping YouTube and using some of the Facebook tactics we're going to get into.